And we are back on the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger Show. Cleve Loveland and Bruce Woodburn giving you all of your real estate and mortgage news. This is where you come to find out what's really going on in real estate. We are not paid, despite our immense radio talent, my great radio voice, we are not paid by the radio station. We work in the business 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
And you know what? For radio guys, you know what? We're not doing too bad. We're not the best looking guys on the radio. But we're not the worst looking guys.
Yeah, we don't have faces for radio. As
we don't have a face for radio. Okay.
So you wanted to ask me about negotiating.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I want you guys to all out there listening that if you are considering buying a home, if you ever want to buy a home, or you know somebody that hasn't bought a home and should buy a home, there's 3 reasons. And when I teach real estate classes, I teach this. This is the most important thing that people need to understand as a real estate agent. Why is a consumer hiring you? And these are the 3 reasons. First of all, to find that perfect home, right?
Yep.
That's the first reason. The second reason is to negotiate the best deal for you.
Yep.
You know, people forget about that because they choose their sister's cousin's best friend's neighbor.
Yeah.
Because they know them and they'd feel uncomfortable if they didn't choose them.
But they miss the house they're trying to get because they're working their job at CVS.
Not only do they miss the house, Cleve, but they forget about how important the most important investment that you'll ever make is. And they just like, I just got to be kind because I need to hire Joanne.
Yeah.
You know, she's been a realtor a long time and she does it part-time.
At least 14 months, yeah.
Yeah, she's sold probably 9 houses in the last 14 years. I mean, come on. So at any rate, no offense to Joanne. That's
the
number 2 reason, negotiation. The number 3 reason is the realtor's job is to orchestrate, the maestro, to control the entire transaction so that the buyer and the seller get to the closing table smoothly and on time.
We wouldn't have jobs. You and I wouldn't have jobs if it was that easy. Like if you didn't need us.
I mean, I sometimes I think I'm a psychiatrist out there having to talk people off the shelf.
Well, and like for example, in this market, we've got multiple offers. Right. So, is the best thing to do, like usually you give a buyer a good education. Let's say they're buying at $450 and you give them a good education and a nice one pops up, do you go $470? Do you go $455? And this is what my agents will help you with. And my suggestion is go as high as you can without turning your stomach. You can always backpedal on the inspection, unless they're making you waive inspections, that kind of thing.
Or waiving appraisal.
But this market is cooling off. It's not that crazy with homes going 30, 40, 50,000 above list, even though I just sold one for 50,000 above list. But you want to have, you've got to know your temperament. But if it fits your house perfect, it fits your family perfectly, and there's a room for everybody, and it's got the great yard you want or the great view, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about paying $3, $4, $5 over what you wanted to pay, and not end up getting what you.
The average of what I'm seeing, Bruce, is about 2 or 3% over.
Right.
If you really love it and you make a bid 5, 6, 7% over, you're going to be okay. Right. You can always try and back off on inspections. You can just get it under contract.
Well, and getting back to the topic here, negotiation. What do you think is the most important thing, and how when you're working with a client, you take that job very seriously? What are some of the things that you bring to the table for a client when it comes to negotiation?
Well, the experience of knowing when, I just had one. We were chasing the listing agent for 3 days without calls back. So finally we're like, hey, let's call the broker and find out what's going on. Are they still alive? What happened? Just making sure that we get our buyer's offer in front of the seller. I mean, park the car outside while they're looking at offers. Say, hey, I'll have them in the car if you want to come out and give us the counteroffer.
Sure.
Show them you're motivated. And some things like, I got an article here on escalation clauses. I think one of the best things you can do is putting that best offer up front, go 10, 20,000 over list price. Do that up front. Don't go list price and then offer to, compete with other people because somebody else probably
I'm seeing
went over
a lot
list.
of that right now. And I'm going to tell you something. It almost screwed 2 deals that I have right now.
Because it had an escalation?
There was an escalation clause, and the escalation clause says the purchase price is $335, but the buyer will pay up to $5,000 more than the highest other offer.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a contractual agreement.
Yeah.
How do I pin my price on that price?
Yeah, yeah.
And who do I know has a legitimate offer?
Yeah.
What if his neighbor comes in and says, "Hey, I'll tell you what, John, I'm just
give
going
you
to throw
360, yeah.
I'll throw an offer in there at 360 and your guy's got to play 365." So, what's a legitimate offer? And then once that offer is settled and there is a price, how does an underwriter, a lender, and an appraiser know what your actual price is unless you do an addendum once that final escalation is completed and now you have a legitimate price? So those are kind of the things that Cleve brings to the table. I got a couple other things that I want to mention here that I think are they irritate me, and you guys don't know they irritate me. Uh-huh. And if they irritate me, it's because it's affecting you, the listener out there, when you're buying or refinancing a home. Solar panels, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I hate solar panels. Now, listen, when I say I hate solar panels, I actually love the idea of solar panels. I love the idea of being energy efficient. I love the idea that solar panels will reduce your carbon footprint. I love that. So don't call me up and go, "Why aren't you green?" I'm green enough, okay? I'm green enough for me, okay? But here's what it does. I don't care what the salesperson for the solar company tells you. They're not going to put a lien on the property. It's not true.
They do a lien.
There's going to be a lien, whether it's a lease or whether you're buying them. Unless you pay cash for them, there will be a UTC lien on the property, which is utility lien. And the salesperson for the solar company go, "No, don't worry, it's not really a lien." Yeah. You know what? Let me just tell you something. I just had a client, he ended up paying, it was an escalation clause, paid $10,000 over purchase price, then had to pay and to get the solar panel contract assigned over to him, which was $40,000 more. And
they won't always do that.
Well, the company was glad to do it, but he was paying 9% on solar panels, and over a 30-year period of time. Come on, are these solar panels are you going to be okay in 30 years?
The return on those, the technology, I don't think the prices are low enough. And here's the problem.
They're not low enough.
The problems I've had on them is where, if there's only a $10,000 or $15,000 balance, not a big deal. The buyers are, okay, I'll take over that $200 payment because I have a $50 electric bill instead of a $400 electric bill. They see the sense in that. But when it is a $40,000 one, you talk about my agent Nanette, who negotiates so well.
Right.
We had a problem like that with $40,000 in solar panels installed on an old roof.
Right.
So then you've got.
Lord.
So then,
how do you fix the roof on that one?
You got to pay a couple $1,000 to have them taken off and reinstalled.
But so what we did, a couple thousand.
And this is why I talk about paying a good price. We were in multiple offer situation. We went over list, but after this all came to service and inspection, we said, we cut 30. Then Nanette got $30,000 off the price.
That's fantastic. I'm telling you, his buyer's agents are monsters.
Bruce, talking about negotiation, I think one of the best points you can have done for you, one of the things that makes your offer look great when you're buying a home, is being fast-tracked with you.
Absolutely.
And
so
let's
talk about what fast track and an honor call is. First of all, I want you to stop the car, stop the lawnmower, pull over. You're on your way home from church. I know you got that Krispy Kreme donut sitting there ready to eat there, but I want you to write my number down because you know somebody right now that needs to refinance or is currently a renter, and we've got to get these people out of renting and into home ownership. My phone number, my direct phone number is 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. I have no lender overlays. I will get more people approved than any other lender that I've ever seen, ever, and I've been doing this for 32 years. My website is webringyouhome.com. Easy as pie. Okay, if you want to reach Cleve and his team, 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. Let's talk about Fast Track and how it helps you. So Fast Track is a step above a pre-approval. Lenders stop at pre-approval. That means you've given me your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns if necessary, if you're self-employed or 1099, and whatever documentation I needed. That's a pre-approval. Guess who's writing the pre-approval and analyzing the documents? The loan officer.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess who is commission-based? The loan officer.
Yep.
Guess who's motivated to shoot first and ask questions later?
Yep.
The loan officer. Okay, listen, I interview them every day. Most of them are full of it, okay? Mm-hmm. Most loan officers, I'm just telling you, listen, I'm in the business, and I see them every day. I'm like, how long have you been doing this? Do you really know what you're doing? So anyway, Fast Track blows a pre-approval away. It's a full loan approval with an underwriter, not a loan officer, not a processor. The loan's been fully underwritten. Now, you have to have everything ready to go so I could physically close that loan immediately. The only thing that's missing is an appraisal and a contract and title insurance. That's it. If you do Fast Track, Cleve, and this is why you love it, I will guarantee a 21-day close.
Yep.
I'll pay the seller $500 a day for every day I missed that closing.
And this is what, and you never had to do that.
Well, I did one time.
One time, yeah. But
I had to do it one time.
That plus, when you call the agent, the listing agent, and say, hey, the Smith's offer is done. I can close that and get it done. You know how many calls I get on the 100? I'm literally, normal market before all this craziness from 2 years ago, I would see 50, 60 offers a month on my listings. I'm seeing about 200 offers a month now.
Sure.
Do you know how many calls I get?
That's a lot of calls to take.
But no. How many loan reps call me?
None.
Zero. Or owners of mortgage.
Well, here's what that does when I make a call to the listing agent. So you just think about this. I go, hey, Cleve, you know what? I see you got Elm Street listed. I got a buyer coming in to buy that property. I've already pre-approved the client, but I want to tell you something, Cleve. Not only have I pre-approved them, I've gotten them underwritten already, so they're a guaranteed closing. I want you, when you're entertaining offers, Cleve, with your seller, to let your seller know that if I miss that closing, I'll pay him $500
that is priceless. A day. That is literally like a cash offer, but the cash offers are usually 20% below list price.
Right. So this is a guaranteed closing date, and I'm going to tell you, I'll increase your chances as a buyer by up to 70% greater chance that you become the winning offer.
Yep.
Okay. And you don't even have to be the highest offer. Many of, a lot of realtors, they know who I am. I've been around here a long time. They know who I am, and they know if I tell you that deal's going to closing, it's going to closing.
Yep.
Right? So 407-250-9144. If you know anybody that's currently renting, Cleve, what's our saying about renters?
Never met a rich renter.
There's no such thing as a rich renter.
Average net worth of the renter, I think, I haven't seen it updated lately. Like a year ago, it was like $67,000, and the average homeowner was about $250,000.
Yeah, it's substantial difference. I don't even think many renters have $67,000. I don't see them. I see most of the renters out there. If you have any money, like you're struggling to come up with your down payment, guess what? I got no down payment loans available for veterans and USDA financing. 3.5% down FHA, no overlays. 3% down conventional home-ready programs with reduced mortgage insurance and reduced interest rates. If you are currently renting, stop the car. Give your head a shake. Bang your head against the steering wheel 2 or 3 times pretty good and hard, and then write down my number and say, Loan Arranger, help me be a homeowner. I'm committed. And listen, I will promise you, I will pour into you. I'll get you a great mortgage. My team will take great care of you, and we are going to stop me. I could get you into a home by Thanksgiving right now. So could you. We can get you into a home.
That's right.
By
we forgot to mention our turkey
right
transaction.
Now. Right now.
This is the month of the turkey transaction.
You just apply. Go to WeBringYouHome.com right now, or call me. My direct number, 407-250-9144. And I'll get you pre-approved. I'll get you set up with Cleve and his team. You can reach him at 407-352
8118.
407-352-8118.
We give out so many numbers. So.
Right. So solar panels were one thing. Appraisals, they're starting to speed up them. They're not taking 3.5 weeks anymore. I'm getting them done in a week and a half, 2 weeks. So that's helping quite a bit. We're not seeing as much price discrepancy because I think things are settling down a little bit. Refinances, we talked about 85% of the people that should refinance have not refinanced yet. Okay. And then employment opportunities. I'm always looking for good loan officers. Don't call me if you think you're a good loan officer and you're really not that good. Okay. But if you close 3, 4, 5, 6 transactions a month, I'll show you how to get to 15 to 20 transactions a month. I've got great programs, 401k, everything. Construction to perm. I got the best construction. You don't want to be in a multiple offer situation. You don't want to buy new construction and have to wait, to get on a lottery list to buy the home. I've got construction perm loans. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of Cleve Loveland and the Loan Arranger.